back to Right Talk with Dwight Lilly and my co-host here, Amy Nelson. And we've been discussing the meeting that was canceled by the BLM. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I want you to consider this for a minute. As I said, Trump has about between 35,000 and 40,000 people here. Now, about half the population is retired. They're in my age group, in Amy's age group, and so they're not really the working people. And many people work over in Las Vegas because we're about an hour commute to Las Vegas. But here in people that could attend the meeting, now you called a meeting with very little notice for 3 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. So people would have to go, oh my God, I'm working. How do I get off from work? How do I make arrangements for daycare? How do I do this? Because this meeting's being held, and it's my last chance, my only chance to leave any input on this this subject, and they call it 3, and then they probed and they pulled back. A form of harassment. I mean, the meeting should have logically been called for a 7 o'clock meeting on a weeknight, or even on a weekend where a workshop, because we're talking about over 3 million acres. Just here in Nye County, it's larger, are you ready for this? Larger land grab of critical management than the state of Rhode Island. An entire state is what they're going to critically manage. So if you live in Rhode Island, Providence, or an area, just think that everything you can see outside your window and through the state line is now you're told you can't hike, you can't ride your horse, you can't ride your bike, you can't fish, you can't go out and prospect for rocks or whatever you want to do is wiped out.
The only thing they haven't restricted is airspace.
Well, they haven't got our, I'm expecting, since they're going to make a grab for the minerals in the water, being a little facetious here, that it'll probably be, they want all the air going up 100 feet off the ground, that they're going to restrict the use of air, and we'll be walking around with, tanks on, carrying our own air, I guess, that we get somewhere else. It's really ridiculous. I hate to be making light of it, because it's such a serious situation that in fact, this situation is so serious that this is the pilot program for my media company, the Tilting a Windmill Media Company, and we were going to cover another topic entirely. And I thought, because of this being right in front of our face, that I would go ahead and present this program, which I've been researching for a while now. And anyway. As I said, the emphasis of this program is not going to, what can government do for us? How can they help save us from this land grab? Well, it's obvious that since the Civil War, our state government has not done anything to get our land back. They've given us lip service. They've gone to Congress. They've stood with their hands. In fact, there was a case back a few years ago, I think in 2008, where the big university in Las Vegas wanted to expand. You've heard of University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I'm sure you all in the viewing audience have heard of that. They wanted to expand, and they wanted 40 acres of property, which, because it would be just outside the city, of course it was federal land. And we had to go beg, and it took years of going to the other 49 states to try to get 40 acres of our land back, with our hat in our hand, and please, can we please have 40 acres for our university? Other states would be astounded if they wanted to, if you live in say, Arkansas, or you live in Virginia, or you're living in New York, that you needed 40 acres of land. So anyway, that's what they had to do. So what can we do? Okay, the public, as I said, came together, and of course our government, now they're going to start making lip service and everything, our county commissioners and town board members, and probably our state legislator member. Oh my God, we're on board with you people, and the media's been down there. But let me ask you this simple question. Where have you been? You claim you're for us, you claim that you are representing us, and you're telling us that since 1864 or 3 or 5, that there's nothing you've been able to do to get our land back. That, no, that even though you've presented Congress with a initiative that was signed, that was voted on by the people in Nevada, they still couldn't get our initiative. So as a people, here's what now, there's people that have come to me and said, Dwight, we need a revolution. Well, a revolution to me is just so far out there that it's not even worth considering to actually revolt against our government in some type of armed fashion. But what I think we could do, and I'm going to throw this out here, this is a solution for the people watching this and for problems in your area. And it goes back to Walden's Pond. I don't know if you've read Henry David Thoreau's book, Walden Pond, and it all centered around a person living out by himself out in the woods in his cabin, and a tax dispute where he said, I'm not paying taxes, there's no reason for me to have to be taxed by this community, and he actually was willing to go to jail over it, and it was called civil disobedience, where a person gets backed up and they consider what the government is considering to be immoral, to be an unethical trampling of their liberty and rights, that they just refuse to go along with it. And so what I am suggesting as a possible solution to this land grab is we simply go ahead and put our protests in of what we consider a immoral act by this socialist government to come in and stamp out liberty here in the West, that we're going to go ahead and refuse to go along with it. That we just buy the tens of thousands, continue to ride our horses, to go out prospecting, to go camping, to go hiking, because they don't have enough land managers, enough BLM agents, enough fish and wildlife agents, and enough forestry agents to consider a civil disobedience by literally everybody refusing to go along with the plan. We just go ahead and go on. It's our land. It was promised to us. You're supposed to sell it to us, and we're supposed to get 5% of the proceeds. None of this has followed through with, and we're going to go ahead and just go ahead and act as if it's our own land. The BLM, you can continue to come up with your schemes and your management program, but if literally nobody goes along with you, then you have nothing, and we're not going to pull a gun on you. The only thing we'll pull a gun on would be if a rattlesnake got on our way as we're taking a hike with our family, or we needed to protect ourselves from a wild creature like a mountain lion or something that came upon our camp. But it's you. I know you're just doing your job, but we're going to do our job as citizens and free people here in Nevada and take our land back in a quiet matter of civil disobedience, and we will protest you. The congressional delegation, if you have not moved on this, from seeing what this current 3 million acre grab is, then you will not be reelected into office. The commissioners will not be reelected in office until they actually stand side by side with us in a protest, put their jobs in line, go out and go hiking too. It's going to be everybody in this together. And this program is the very first of what will probably be many that will discuss this topic, because we're really talking about the survival of us as a people, of a rural nature in a rural environment, and we're just not going to take the abuse any longer.
And it's not just happening in Nevada; it's happening in Utah, and other states are to follow. So it's important to everybody. So
I think that's it. That's going to wrap up this edition of Right Talk, and I thank Amy Nelson for joining me. And until next time, folks, please follow up and read what I've suggested you read, and look into this further, because it's us today and it'll be you tomorrow. Thank you.